Morning, everybody. It's Monday morning. It's like the worst part of the week for me, man. I mean, my job's not so bad. It's just I hate going to work. I don't know. I just like being off work. I just want to be off. And I know every single one of y'all feels the same way. Like the worst part of the week is Monday morning because I know I got the whole entire week to go still. But I wanted to come to you this morning and talk to you about my cancer experience or story or journey or whatever you want to call it. How did I find out I had it? You know, how did they tell me? How did they treat it? All that good stuff. So one morning I'm in the shower, I'm washing my face, and I feel like a lump on the side of my head in front of my ear. Like, what is that? You know, it's like a little bump under my skin, probably about the size of a marble, but just the tip of it. It wasn't sticking way out, you know. Felt the other side. There's one over there. Yep, sure enough, there's one over there too. What the heck is going on? I'm, you know, still washing, whatever. I feel them down there. I realized they're like in my neck too, like right here on the sides, coming down, and in my collarbone, right? It felt like almost like one of them squishy balls that had other little squishy balls inside of it. There was just a bunch of little lumps in my collar where your little hole is right there, where your collarbone is, and then the lumps going down the side of my neck. I had them in my armpit and my groin on either side of my hips. So I knew something was wrong. I go to my doctor. He runs a bunch of tests. Blood work comes back fine. He's like, well, I mean, I guess we can send you to an ENT. And they'll check it out. Now, he did say you have had mono in the past, right? That's what my blood work showed. Evidently, when you get mono, you have it forever. It gets you sick the first time, but chances are you're never going to get sick again from it. It's just something that shows up in your blood when they test you for it. I'm thinking that's what I got, because this is one of the symptoms of it. He's giving me these immune system shots once a week, and nothing's working. So he sends me to an ENT. That guy sends me to get a CAT scan. Comes back clean. They say I have the beginnings of emphysema, so don't be smoking cigarettes again. But other than that, my CAT scan looks good. They send me for a fine needle aspiration where they take an ultrasound and a needle and stick it in your neck, and they use that ultrasound to see where they're going. And they're right in there, and they get in that lump, and they scoop a chunk out, they send it off, comes back clear, no cancer. They don't know what's wrong. In the meantime, I go see a dentist and I go see a dermatologist just to make sure I don't have any kind of tooth that's causing this, or a skin cancer or something like that that might be causing it. Both of them check me over. They say, no, you look good. So I go home and I just kind of let the doctor keep giving me the immune system shots. I'm assuming I got mono, and it is what it is. But my throat started hurting. Turns out I had acid reflux. But silent reflux they call it, so I didn't really know I had it, but that prompted me to go to another ENT. I start talking to him about it, and he's like, look, what we can do is we'll take a couple out, we'll send them off, and that'll tell you what's wrong. I was like, wow, that sounds expensive. I'm just a regular guy with a normal job, and you know, that sounds expensive. And it was. I mean, it was probably, I think it was like 50 grand the surgery was. I have insurance, but still, right? I knew that out of pocket was going to be big, which it was. I ended up paying about 5 grand. So I was like, nah, no way, dude. I'm not, I don't have money like that. And he's like, well, it's your decision, you know, your body, whatever. Meanwhile, I had a follow-up with my dermatologist, and I had a follow-up with the dentist too. Both of them are about my age, and I mean, we're all in our 40s. I'm telling them, the guy wants to take them out. Would you do it? Oh, it's this guy just trying to get my money, what? And they're like, no, dude, if I was you, I would do it. Both of them said it. If I was you, I would want to know. Also, my general practitioner, I went to him for another shot. He said the same thing. This guy is smart. He knows. So fine, I go do it. I have the surgery, and I'm scared because I've never had surgery before. I did when I was a little kid, but as an adult, I've never had to go under anesthesia. And being somebody who's got anxiety, and really specifically anxiety over things I can't control. Because if I can control something, I don't worry about it because I know I got it. But something like that, man, they're about to put me under. I might never wake up, dude. the girl had to talk me into it. She was like, look, we do this all the time, don't worry about it. She's like, you gotta find out what's going on with you. You know, and I was like, all right, whatever. So they do the surgery, and I'm waking up from the surgery, and the doctor comes in there, he's like, hey, everything good? And I'm throwing up in a bag. And I'm like, no, I don't know. And he's like, all right, I'll see you guys later. And he just leaves. That's how it is. A couple weeks go by, he calls me up, got the results, awesome. See you Wednesday. All right. I go in there, and he goes, you have lymphoma. And I was like, whoa, that's cancer, ain't it? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, am I gonna die? And he's like, I don't know, I'm not an oncologist. And I'm like, yeah, but you're a doctor. Like, how much time am I looking at? You know, 6 months, what? And he's like, I don't know, I'm not an oncologist. This guy would not even give me his professional opinion. I leave that place with my ears ringing like, dude, this guy just told me I'm dying. Like, I just got sentenced to the death penalty. And I'm 40, and I'm thinking I gotta tell my mom, and what am I gonna do? And, oh my God, dude, I have cancer? This is crazy. It was scary, man. It was really scary. But I wasn't gonna let it scare me too bad until I knew how bad it was. Same day I had an appointment with my dermatologist, that third follow-up, or second follow-up, third visit. And he's like, how's it going, man? And I was like, not so great, dude. I have lymphoma. And he's like, oh man, I'm so sorry. And I was like, oh dude, calm down. You scared me. Like, you're so sorry. Why? Am I dying? And he's like, let me see the paperwork. I gave him the paperwork. He looks at it and he's like, what you have is very treatable. He's like, it's a good thing you caught it early, but it's very treatable, and most of the time they can put it into remission for a long time. You know, it'll come back eventually, but for now, they should be able to fix you up. When I walked in there, I was just in a cloud of confusion and haze. But then this guy just sat me down and cleared it right up for me. And honestly, I felt a lot better almost immediately. But at the same time, for all I know, this guy's just telling me that I'm gonna be fine. They all do that. In the old days, hey man, you got 6 months to live, get your affairs in order. Nowadays, they just, oh, you're gonna be fine. Oh, here, some more treatment, and then they drain your bank account and you die anyway. Yeah, I was worried, as anybody else would be, I guess. So he refers me to an oncologist, and I go to work and I'm talking to people, and there's this older cat at work, Patrick, and he's like, you need to go see this doctor, Dr. Sharma, right? He's like, my wife had the same thing, and he cured her back in the 90s. And I was like, dude, that is who they referred me to. I look at that card, it's exactly, I showed him the card. I'm like, dude, that's who they referred me to. And he's like, well, there you go, you good. So I already trust this guy walking in there. That's why I didn't go get a second opinion on the treatment, because I already knew, right? And I looked him up. This guy does research, he does lectures. He's one of them guys. He's on top of everything. I go there, he's like, yeah, you're gonna be all right, man. We're gonna give you a little bit of chemo, and it should clear it right up. He's like, yeah, it will come back, and it's probably gonna come back stronger, but we'll just knock it out again when it comes back. And he said, it's kind of weird that you have this. Most people don't get it till they're like in their 60s. You know, you're kind of young. He's like, you're the second youngest patient I've ever had with it. One other person was 37. You know, all right. So it takes a couple weeks for insurance to approve the treatment. They want me to take this other chemical. He's like, I'm not giving you that other chemical. You don't need it. It's gonna make you sick. He's like, if I thought you needed it, I would give it to you, but you don't need it, and I don't see any reason to make you any sicker than this could potentially make you. Which was cool, man. That's the kind of guy you want, dude. So I go there to my first treatment. It's 6 hours long. They stick the needle in you, the whole deal, and you sit there like Walter White in the chair with the bag draining in you. And when the bag's empty, you get to go home. The first time they did it, it was 6 hours. Every treatment after that was only 3. They go real slow for the first time because they know how, they're pretty sure how your body's gonna react, but every now and then somebody has an allergic reaction and it makes it hard to breathe. And that's the other thing. Is this shit gonna kill me? Is treatment gonna kill me? Dude, that whole thing was a big nerve-wracking nightmare, honestly. But I go through the treatment. Immediately after the first treatment, the lumps start going down, and I knew it was working. Second treatment, lumps are even less. By the third, fourth, lumps are pretty much gone. I had 6 treatments. My job was awesome. I had to go every Thursday, and my job literally just, go ahead, go, dude. I ran out of vacation days. They're like, just go. Dude, I got the greatest job ever. I know I bitch about having to go to work, but that's just because I'm not good at sitting in one place for very long. So I go through the treatment, I finish, and I go do blood work, and everything's fine. It's gone. He's telling me it's gone. Originally, blood work never showed anything in the first place. So how is blood work going to show you that it's back? I don't know, but I'll know because them damn lumps will be back. And look, I tell you this story not as like, oh, feel bad for me, I had cancer. I tell it as like, this is a story of hope for anybody else who finds out that they got it. Don't just necessarily go straight to I'm dying. These doctors, they know what they're doing. They got a lot of different treatments now. I mean, every specific for your cancer, for your genetic DNA. You honking at me? What the fuck? You're sitting there. Fuck you, stupid, dumb fuck. Where was I? They can genetically modify your treatment to match the DNA in your cancer. They're pretty good. The other moral of this story is listen to your body when it's telling you something's wrong. Mom was telling me, hey, look, we got lumps, something's wrong. Check it out. And check yourself for lumps. Look for weird things that weren't there, things that are getting bigger and growing. And don't just cut a blind eye to it. Because honestly, I might be really sick right now had I not gone. When he told me that I had cancer, in my head I was like, well, I got about 6 months to live. And I was already planning it out. And that was in November. So that was about 8 months ago. So when I was walking out of that doctor's office after him telling me I had cancer, I was like, you know what? I had a V-Star 650 back then. It had 40 horsepower or something like that on a 550-pound bike. I was like, dude, I'm going to get a sport bike. I'm not going to let this... I was already going to go get a sport bike, but that damn surgery cost me $5 grand and just shattered that, you know? I was going to go buy it cash. But instead, I ended up having a fun. I was like, dude, I'm going to buy another bike. I'm going to... if I'm dying, I'm going fast before I do it, you know? So I went and financed this FZ. Yeah, I financed it because I had to pay for that damn cancer surgery. But I kept the V-Star, held on to it for a minute, rode it, was getting bored with it because it was so slow compared to this thing. No torque at all. This thing juices. They should have put this engine on that damn V-Star. Shit. I rode that bike for 30,000 miles. I was in love with that bike. I did a lot of custom work to it. Maybe I'll put some pictures up of it. I traded it to a guy for the Daytona. That V-Star had 36,000 miles. I got it with 1,100 miles on it in 08. It was in 03. I gave the guy an 03 V-Star 650 with 36,000 miles for an 06 Daytona 675 with 21,000 miles. Not bad, huh? And you know the Daytona's getting its valves done right now, so. And honestly, the valves are done. The fuel line, which I knew was going to happen to me if I took that tank off, the clip broke. The clips for the fuel line. So they have to put a new fuel line on there, and it's waiting on that to show up. Hi there. I'm a guy on a bike. I don't expect you to see me, though. Well, that's the story, y'all. There's hope, man. Don't freak out. Freak out. I mean, it's your life. But don't just immediately go to I'm dying, because you might end up being okay. I'm okay. Maybe not mentally, but physically, I feel great. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for caring. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for being there, man, you know? And all you haters can eat my balls. I can't wait till two cars make a sandwich with you. Oh yeah? Well, me and my friend Isaac made a sandwich with your mom.